Hello, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcasts. I am Justin, here for A Show 228 with my main man, Meelz. We back. Black History Month's over. Euphoria is over. I'm here. I feel like I just came out of like a war.
Why do you say that?
Because this season was very like. This is the first time I kind of got into, because it's built such a fan base. And if you guys haven't listened to Overly Medicated, definitely check that out on our RNC Radio Watch channel. We just had our mid-season, if you will, finale. But you get into the fandom, that's tiring. You get into the arguments, that's tiring. The Euphoria fan page, Euphoria Source, blocked me because I had negative opinions about the show.
That's insane. Wait, did you actually follow them or anything of the rather, or they just blocked you off the strength of you really committing to critiquing this show in various ways?
I never followed them. They never followed me. They actually had retweeted or favorited the show.
Oh, and then they must have heard it and been like, yo, fuck this guy.
Yeah. And they blocked me. And I was like, it just got so deep. And then the war going on both sides of the conversation about the finale and just the season itself, and more really weird, on set stuff going on during the shooting of the show. It's like this seemed like a mess, and I feel like a lot of people didn't want to talk about it. So coming out from under it, I'm glad that it's over. I'm glad that we don't have to talk about it for another 2 years, and I'll see. Well, I'll reevaluate how I feel about it when we see season 3. But if it was a lot this season.
So let me ask you a question. Beyond the actual critique of the show that you have, did you enjoy the times that you did watch the show? Did you enjoy dedicating an hour to it, or do you really truly feel like it was a big waste of time?
I don't feel like it was a waste of time. Here's my thing about Overly Medicated and the show itself. I really love
Euphoria or Overly Medicated?
Or Euphoria. Yeah, I really love. I felt like this is just I felt like doing the show with Mark is my favorite thing, but I felt like there were a lot of times when I wasn't enjoying watching it, that it was hashing on him. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was being harsh, and Mark's a really positive guy, so I was like, I'm sorry.
I know you're weighing out, and you were cutting his speed a little bit. I could feel the general, just the overall, because I'll say this with you. You have a very strong opinion on things. So it's easy for it to cut into other people. And I think you generally, because you make a lot of great points and because you do a lot of things, you say a lot of things, you can definitely generally warp people's perception of the show. Now, I do agree with a lot of the things that you said, because quite frankly, ever since I started watching anime, which is somehow has got better writing than a lot of things that come out over stateside or something along those lines, I'm like, yo, these stories are kind of very some things just don't make sense, and some things would be done in certain ways, and maybe it's my own kind of creative mind just kind of thinking yo, I would do this way, I would do this way. But overall, I try to so part of me goes in with I like Euphoria despite all of its shortcomings. I like the idea of the show, I like the concept of the show. I enjoy sitting there and watching the show. I also enjoy listening to you guys the following next day.
There's good stuff in it. There's good stuff to be had in it. There was, at least of the 8 episodes, at least 4 of them I found something really good. I think this season has one of the best scenes of the series. But then you turn around and that person who was involved in that has no screen time. So her story was unresolved. And it's hard not to look at that and be kind of bummed out about it. I'm just not gonna lie. It's hard not to look back at it and be in the same way that if we look at 2K, a lot of the release people are in it,
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard not to see that and be like, damn, I'm kind of bummed out,
I don't play 2K, so.
But I mean, it's the same. I'm trying to relate.
I know what you're doing.
It's I don't know. It's like a weird feeling of watching the show, really enjoying it, waiting 2 years. We put our podcast on 2 years hiatus for this, where I said, let's just wait and see what happens. and then it'd be this, and it's just like it's kind of hashed me out for the week, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, go listen to Overly Medicated. Go support that podcast, and I'm sure you guys got plenty of things coming up. Can I tell you something that I heard on another podcast you do that maybe, it made me think, not even like think in a bad way, but I was like, huh, okay. So obviously you do the Black Print as well. Shout out to the Black Print, you and Josh Pease. Very great show, very funny show, very refreshing show. I'll say that as well. So you guys have started your Patreon.
Yes.
And you said during this podcast, you was like, oh, my girl became a patron too. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
But the A Show, like, does she not support the wrestling endeavors? Like, I have a list of all the patrons that join here too. I don't think I've seen your fiance. No, I'm not trying to come at her strong, but I was also like, yo, do we not like?
Hey, you know
does
what?
she not want to see us die eating a devilish chip? Like,
she absolutely wants to see us die eating the demon chip. Which, by the way, I got my chip in. She absolutely wants to see us die doing.
But she wants to see it for free because she got the front row seat. Is that what you're saying?
She's gonna have the ice cream, the water, all of that stuff in line, ready to go. And I think that's where her support comes from. But I feel like she's new to the world with Patreon, because you know what she did? She put the $5 down and said, "Okay, pay me back." I said, "Wait, what?"
You pay her back every week by loving her and supporting her and helping finance an entire wedding. So
give her life.
Absolutely.
Come on, man. She gives me life too. So,
oh my God,
it is what it is.
Well, but, I want to say a couple things because while I'm on the topic of Patreon, we do have some new patrons.
Yes.
Shout out to Lizard Man, who is just an amazing name. Shout out to you.
I was like, which Lizard Man are you?
Shout out to Lizard Man. Shout out to Kel Lacey, who upgraded to Hall of Fame, which means we got to schedule these people for the show, by the way, because we got a lot of episodes. I'm sure everyone, it's WrestleMania season coming up. Everyone's excited. Everyone thinks. So, Kel, first of all, happy birthday, Kel, because today's your birthday.
Happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday to my mom, too.
It's your mom's birthday?
Yeah, today, the 1st.
February. Oh, I was about to say, why did I think it was February 28th still? Oh, shout out to March 1st birthday. You know whose also birthday it was yesterday? It was Tyrese Halliburton's birthday. He's a friend of the show.
He's ducking us.
He's not ducking us. He's an NBA player. What the
He's ducking us.
He's an NBA player. Like, just to keep it kind of open, we've been reaching out to have him on the show and stuff like that. And I think last week, because it was All-Star Week, last week was the only window I was kind of certain of. But because he was traded in like late January something, he's been living out of like a hotel essentially that the team pays for. So during All-Star break, I mean, initially, we want to say, oh, we could reach out, have him on the show and stuff like that. He had to go to Sacramento and get all his stuff so he could move to Indiana, like officially. So I was like, you know what? I don't even want to like deal with it. And so I wouldn't expect to see him on the show unless, if the Pacers don't make the playoffs, at least May or something along those lines. But
we'll both, if they don't make it, we'll both be chilling because my team ain't making it either. So
you might be playing, you know what I'm saying?
Friend of the show. Come on the show, bro. Stop ducking us, man.
Lakers are kind of ass, but Knicks are really ass, so I can't even complain, to be honest.
Like, listen, man.
But y'all have a higher upside. Y'all have two of the top 10 players in the league, and we have Julius Randle and fucking.
Don't matter. Just leave us alone, bro. Shit. Like, damn. Like, I don't come at niggas when their team is trash. I don't come at niggas when their team is trash.
Y'all be inventing new, like Russell Westbrook I was like, yo, what is going on there? Because y'all got bad top 70 NBA 75 ass players on y'all team, and good lord.
Get to it. No basketball talk on this.
Okay. What else could we talk about? I have, you know what? I thought I had a work related question that I want to ask you, like an office hours ask question.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Okay, so let's do this. Hopefully no one important listens to this. What do you do So this is Office Hours with J5. This is what do you do when you've been interviewing for this position necessarily, and you interview for it and you don't hear back at all, even when you ask for some sort of response? How long should you kind of take that radio silence before you just assume that they're no longer interested?
Never assume that, because they always come back, especially at a certain level. I was interviewing for Netflix late last year, and they would go for a month without hitting me up, and I would respond. I would hit them up every week, every Monday, following up. It ain't over until a nigga tell me it's over. And that's how everyone should take it. It is not over until they tell you that it's over. I was also interviewing for another company. I believe it was Electronic Arts the year before that. And yay. And I was like, listen, I was persistent. I was like, hey, is there any other, anything else you need from me? And it's like, well, hold on. We got something for you, blah, blah, blah. And I never let it happen until they said, okay, this person moved on from the position, so we're going to put this position on hold. Never. Persistence is key to applying and interviewing. This process is soul crushing. Where I'm at right now, I actually didn't get the job at first, and they called me back, which is like the rarest thing you could ever happen to you, where they actually call you back and say, hey, we got a position open for you now. That's never happened to me before. But that's not to say that it would never happen to anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, so persistence is definitely key. Never, ever assume that it's over until they say that it's over, because there's a reason why they're all hitting you up. There's a pool of people that they actually always hit up. And in a lot of ways, persistence isn't a bad thing. If a company's mad at you being persistent because you want the job, that's on them. They can't be like, oh, nigga, this nigga thirsty. Never mind. Like, what? Don't you want somebody that wants to work for your bum ass company? You know what I'm saying? Like persistence is never a bad thing. What's the worst they could say to you? No. There's 1,000 places out here, especially right now where there's a work shortage. This is probably one of the craziest times. Like I've seen just in our Discord alone, everyone's getting interviews right now. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone, and shout out to everyone who's getting interviews. I've been praying for you guys. Like, I hope you guys get it. Even just on the timeline, I'm seeing people going to interviews and wishing people would give them luck. Like, it's out here right now. It's a big moment for employment right now. So like, take that opportunity, but also be persistent. Like, do not give up. And I always like to say in due time. I know you hate that, Meelz, but it's like it really is. Like, this shit takes time. It really does.
I'm not really. I feel like something's coming my way anyway. I mean, this question was just a general question. It definitely does thing to me, but also I feel like it's a bigger discussion worth having as well, in a tinier discussion, because we got to talk about professional wrestling at some point. But no, definitely, I say persistence beats resistance almost every time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely, it's the same way. Listen, when we got all these interviews, it's not because I just emailed them motherfuckers once.
Yeah.
It's me, and I still got to email them, and I'm still going to email them, and I got it every Monday. They going to see my ass unless they don't see my ass. But we going to make it happen. And that's kind of, that's a good bit of advice. Persistence beats resistance. Be persistent in the things that you want. If you want it, you got to keep going at it, and, take it. So I needed that. I need that.
No problem. I'm gonna keep that segment off of Patreon. I feel like people need to hear that this week.
Yeah, of course.
People needed to hear that. Let's actually just get into the news. Patreon, you're getting this early this week. Meelz will be off next week. So we're gonna have a special guest next week. And I'm just giving you guys a break because you have so much content. Another update. The season finale of Legendary Run is coming up by the end of the week. So that's that episode. That's episode 4, Batista's 2005. So don't worry if it didn't come out today. That's because it's on purpose. Because
but what is out is the XA Diaries.
Yes. Listen. First 15 minutes of the show from this week, I had to cut it off. I said, y'all are wildin'.
What is all right?
Listen, whenever you say A plus, and if you guys don't know who A plus is, he's a program director. I forgot what radio station he works at, but he has been a wrestling fan all of his life. He still watches it even when I don't think he watches it. He was also one of I think my original co-host for a show that was kind of like this, but not like this.
Right.
We did a wrestling podcast together a long time ago. If you've been following me that long, and he is the master. He's a historian, if you will, and I think that's what. Whenever you bring, you see A plus and you bring him on your show, you're getting history and you're getting where he was at that moment, at that exact moment. And that's why the first 15 minutes I say, yeah, this is going to be a classic.
It was so good, man. I'd never had I don't want to say I'd never had so much fun, but it was just one of those podcasts that you're about to have a lot of fun listening to and doing, and also getting the historic thing of the period. If you were in 2002 or if you weren't in 2002, I would hope it's interesting if you weren't like alive or absorb any information from 2002, because like making the band and all this other stuff like that, like it's a great listen. It's a great, like, I guess damn near 2 hours to this point. And we got another episode coming up. So next episode, we will be featuring the Rewriters Room on it. So all three of the family from the Rewriters Room will be on the next episode as we do the go home show for pretty much WrestleMania 18, which includes, do you remember this? I want to ask you if you remember this storyline, because you're going to be on a future episode at some point. Do you remember a dog named Lucy?
Wasn't it Perry Saturn's dog?
No. He
had a mop. Never mind.
Yeah. And it was Moppy. So Lucy was Triple H and Stephanie's bulldog.
Oh, didn't they get eaten?
No, it got ran over by a car.
Oh yeah.
They were getting a divorce, and somehow in this divorce they're arguing about who gets the dog. Right before on the go home show to WrestleMania.
Oh my god.
So yeah, you have that to look forward to. So at least you have that.
Y'all niggas want to say right now what's happening right now is terrible? Think about what we lived through. I mean, even just the history portion of this week's episode of the XA Diaries, I'm like, yo, niggas is really not watching. Like people glorify that era. Like me and Cyrus had to watch St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which is that's also going up this week. By the way,
there you go.
I have more updates. I'm going to be out of town this month as well. So Meelz is going to be gone next week, and I'm going to have a special guest. I'm going to be gone the week after that because I'm going to be out overseas. And so me and Cyrus are actually recording spot callers early, and we're going to do there's going to be no voting because I'm going to be gone, so we're not going to have time. So we're going to do I'm not sure what show it is yet, but we're going to tell you on Friday what show it's going to be. So sorry. Where was I? What's about to say?
Some shit.
I don't know. I forgot. Somebody would be like, "Oh, you forgot to say the rest of the shit." But yeah, that is the plan for March for this show and for what's coming up. So Spot Callers is coming. The February edition is coming, and Spot Callers, the show we're gonna do this month is I am like, listen, I am deluged in wedding stuff, and I know it's no excuse. I love you guys. Trust me. It's not with you guys. It is like game time, and I'm stressed, Meelz. To say the least, I'm stressed.
I can assume.
But you guys are still getting the content for me. It's just this month. March is gonna be crazy. So after this, I should be fine. So let's get into the news. No holds barred. First up, this literally just happened. UFC ex-WWE performer Cain Velasquez booked on an attempted murder charge after an alleged shooting. He was arrested in in San Jose, and law enforcement states that the former fighter was involved in a shooting in San Jose around 3 p.m. near a local high school. In the incident, one person was shot and another was arrested. Nothing further surrounding circumstances or the details have been released, but it turned out that he actually was put in jail, and they put his mugshot out early this morning, and they confirmed that he was the suspect that was arrested. And they booked him on attempted murder.
Yo, remember the Cain Velasquez era? I was like, Remember that?
Remember I went to the 2K event, which also doubled as the press conference for Cain versus Brock in Saudi Arabia. And they both showed up, and I was like, this is the most odd thing. What an odd period of time 2019 to really kind of 2021 WWE was. Like, odd.
I feel
like
like
they're footing a little bit now, but this has been an odd 2 years for this company.
So it feels like the type of collaboration that WWE would do back in the day of like, let's get a legitimate fighter to do this. But realistically now, I think with the current trend of things, people don't want to see legitimate fighters fighting anymore. People don't want to see. We have a whole genre of boxing, of celebrity boxing that has somehow overtaken the genre of actual boxing as the most popular form of boxing. I would rather see someone attempt to knock out a Paul brother than watch actual boxing. Which is sad, but hey.
Listen, Meelz knocking out a Paul brother. You got hands, Meelz?
Why would you ask that? First of all. Why would you ask that? Bitch, I might. Fuck. Why would you ask that? Why would you trying to find out? I was so taken back by that. I'm like, that's no one has ever asked me that on a podcast. I'm like, yo, do you have hands? I'm like, wait, what?
Oh my god, dude. We're just having a conversation. Like, have you ever got to a fight?
Yes and no.
You're the first New York person I know that hasn't gotten into like a, hey, yo, done. I fucking smashed his head.
Because I'm too old to fight. Like, even when I was younger, like the fights that I would get into, it would be like breaking up or something along those lines. Like, I was not a serious fighter. I'm not a fighter person. Like, I'm not a fight. Now, I've been mad enough the last couple years. I've definitely been like, yo,
let's fight.
I feel like fucking somebody up. Like,
whoops. Sorry. I had TMZ open. Sorry. I had TMZ open.
You know what? This segment has gone off the rails. This is about a man who has attempted murder, who's also featured as a WWE superstar.
Why was it? Well, here's one thing. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's for damn sure.
Not if he gets charged. How many other murderers are in the WWE Hall of Fame?
There's a nigga on the Hall of Fame that has been impeached twice.
There is a man in the Hall of Fame who murdered someone, had it kind of a little bit covered up, have their family members currently employed by the WWE, and then I guess just weren't referenced anymore after such.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to see what happens with that.
Cain Velasquez. This is a story that just kind of reminds us, like, yo, this man was actually like a fixture in WWE. And my only memory of him is, I think he got F5'd in a medical room by Brock Lesnar along with Rey Mysterio. Like, he F5'd him onto the doctor's table or something along those lines, something ridiculous. And then we went to Saudi Arabia. He got his ass open in a couple seconds. It was a terrible match, and we all moved on with our lives.
And then he got let go. Well, it was really weird because he was injured when they actually when I remember when I was at the Los Angeles Smackdown, wink wink, his fucking knee brace was bigger than his jeans. Like, it had his jeans bulging. Pause. But anyway, next up, I guess we got to get to like the you want to get to the big thing, or you want to get to the thing that I think is gonna we got a scoop, a bit of a scoop.
A scoop. All right, let's do this. How should we tackle this as reputable journalists? How do we tackle this scoop?
Well, obviously, like, just hearing it through the grapevine through certain people that I know.
Sources say.
Sources. #sources. Tony Khan has an announcement this week
Huge announcement. I know what you're thinking, guys. I know. How many huge announcements does this guy have? And is it an actual huge announcement, or is it that he just signed one of the other WWE NXT releases? I know, but it's not.
Yeah, it isn't. It isn't that. So I heard this Monday, okay, and I hear that the rumor is that Tony Khan is potentially going to buy ROH, and that's the announcement.
Mm. Ring of Honor, Tony Khan potentially buying. Now, we talked about this a couple of months ago when
Yeah.
ROH was up for sale, and we laughed because where would all this ROH footage go?
Yeah.
I guess the YouTube page, he always has that.
Well, I think that it's like, I feel two ways about it. Good for the people that'll be able to have employment for sure.
Mhm.
But you have a roster that is huge right now. How's that going to work? Well, also, like, does he really want to be like the guy that, like, I'm the one who saved indie, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's like, it's a weird purchase to me if he wants to be like that wrestling guy, because I don't feel like it exactly like raises AEW up. I think it's just like a purchase where it's like, this is a show that barely anybody really watched when it was on Sinclair, when it was on free TV,
Right.
and now you copped it, and it's like, okay, who's out? What audience is that for? Because it's still a bunch of guys on that roster that, like, you know, people can say, oh, they're gonna be superstars. It's like, I don't know, you know, because they're not on TNT.
Mhm.
You know, they're not on CBS or whatever. Like, are they going to move over? Is this because, I mean, it makes sense though why he didn't sign Briscoes already. It makes sense why he didn't sign all these people, because he probably wants to keep them on ROH proper. But, you know, that's what I'm hearing. I think that it's definitely going to be interesting. I know people are going to be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. But I'm like, this raises a lot more questions than it does really answers. Like, what are they going to have a TV deal? Is that what he's thinking?
I
Because
mean,
if
he
that,
got TV.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's gonna make a better honor club that's not like fucking $150 a year, and we can watch old ROH, I think that's great. If he gets that tape library, I think we all expected him to get the tape library. I thought people were like, "Oh, Vince is gonna buy." I'm like, I don't think he gives a shit about that. But it also
You know,
makes it kind of.
I mean, I guess not now. I think it was like 5 years ago, and ROH was in a position to be sold. I think he would have bought it because of how much talent he had employed that came from pretty much ROH, and how much NXT talent, how much WWE talent, how much everything. And the fact that they would show not only just their footage from time to time, but also feature a lot of the people backstage and, you know, just talking heads about where they come from. I could see them necessarily doing that. I don't think we're going to get that now, but we haven't really gotten any damn documentary on Peacock for fucking a couple months now. But I could see them definitely, like, you know, buying it in honestly, I don't know what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know anything about talent deals. I'm guessing that'll be explained or whatever. But it's like, what do you think the perception will be, Meelz, of what Tony Khan's doing right now? Like, will this make him more of the uh, indie wrestling messiah that they've already kind of painted him out to be?
So I think if the deal with ROH does go through, or if there, you know, if there is one for sure, which I think, I mean, we've heard a lot of things before they actually happen. So I have no doubt that this is gonna, at least there, if it's not in discussion, if it's not happening, it was definitely in discussion or definitely put on the table. But I think Ring of Honor, for him to buy Ring of Honor at this point, I think it would just be, I think people would also have a lot more questions than answers. Essentially, what are you doing with this talent? What are you doing with the IP of Ring of Honor? How do you, I guess, monetize it or use it to your benefit? Is this just going to be an ROH invasion, and you just kind of wanted to use those guys in the show because you probably could have done that in a different way? So it'll be interesting. I mean, I think the reception is going to be, I think it's going to be, I mean, the people who love AEW is going to say this is one of the best shit ever. But realistically, I feel like they never watch ROH anyway.
Yeah. Stand
But
up.
yeah.
Stand up.
I feel like they didn't, because like honestly, like who was not a lot of people were watching ROH at the time that it went out of the biz.
And what is it going to turn? What is he going to do if you can't get over 1.2 million people to watch this? What, like, is this the third show? Is this just the third thing? Is it to be once again like how he said, "Oh, I got all this money for NWA Power. Y'all should be thanking me." Is that one of them type of things where it's like he's the the savior of this company? It's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like you putting a lot of money into a video game and it's not out yet. It's quiet. It's quiet on that video game.
I think, considering how much, I mean, I really don't know, to be honest with you, because it's kind of all under one company. I would say like you can run ROH concurrently, but honestly, can he afford to? Like,
he's got more money than Vince. Remember, he said he got more money than Vince.
Yeah, I was like, can you afford to run ROH, a brand that was already working at a kind of deficit, alongside your most popular brand, in order to do what? Like draw attention to where? So it'll be interesting to see what kind of goes on. The future of ROH is up in the air. Some people speculating that ROH Superstar could. I mean, if there's a week to announce it, it's gonna be before Revolution, I'm assuming.
Yeah, which is on Sunday.
Is it this Sunday?
This Sunday
or the next? No, it's no. My calendar is like way above.
It's this Sunday, right?
It's this Sunday. Yeah, it's this Sunday. So if there was a time to reveal any of this, it should be coming relatively soon, to draw some attention. But yeah, I don't know what plans. We think in like businessman talk. He thinks in like what's going to be the best product for wrestling fans. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah. He's like, what'll get me liked by wrestling fans right now?
What'll get the computers putin'? How about that?
We are just speculating. This is just what I heard. I am not going off of like this is completely confirmed, but this is from someone who generally Meelz knows is never wrong. And so like this is what I know. Next up,
how we scoop AEW stuff and they don't even like us.
Don't even like us, man. Whatever. One day you'll focus. I think it's mostly War Report, man. I think it's Cyrus that got.
You think it's Cyrus that got us hated by AEW?
Yeah, I think it's.
You think it's Cyrus? I don't think it's Cyrus. Shout out to Cyrus, but I'm blaming you.
I'm blaming Cyrus. All right, WWE 2K22 releases early next week, but we got the roster reveal a couple of days ago.
Is it official roster reveal, or was it just like people on the internet revealed the roster?
It's official. It's on the site now. You have all of the characters on disc on day one. Over 30 released acts are in the game. You got two versions of Mia Yim, Reckoning and Mia Yim. you got Fandango's in the game. Keith Lee is in the game. Alexander Wolf is in the game.
Alexander Wolf was fired like a million years ago.
Exactly. The only two people that are not in this game that were really that I could say like would be a big addition or subtraction was Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan. I feel like once they left, WWE was like, all right, cut them. And Bray's not in the game either.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, anything. I mean, Keith Lee is in the game, because I was about to say is like, I guess any big like AEW stars wouldn't be in the game, but not Kyle O'Reilly's here too. And well, Kyle O'Reilly's not really like big.
He's not a big.
But
you tried him. You tried him.
I tried, but I tried. I'm sorry. I tried.
What are you feeling about 2 months later, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish?
Let's see. I'm glad Adam Cole's in the title program.
He is assuredly going to lose. If they have
he's going to lose.
If they have Adam Page drop the title, I'm about to cut the promo of promos on these let it play out long-term storyline niggas over it. The Lipos in Jacksonville.
But here's the thing. I feel like, would they put the title on Adam Cole so he could like face Kenny Omega for the title or something along those lines? Or do you just continue to have Adam Page just like, I'm the champion, but like I'm chill. I'm not even like the hottest program on the show. Like
He's probably like fourth. I haven't watched the show in a couple weeks, but he's probably like fourth on the wrong. I'm pretty sure that
you're due to watch. You got to see if it's still trash. Word to Sky High Eve.
Nah, Eve got the right idea. That's the realest core. I'm gonna check back after Revolution to see what's good. I'm for sure not watching. I just got off of watching Euphoria for 8 weeks. I'm for sure not watching more bullshit on my Sunday night. So, yeah, a lot of people like that. There was a big rumor that these people would be let go and off of the game, so to speak. And it turns out it wasn't true, and that they're all still in the game. I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan.
Mad people in this game. Damn.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a lot. It's looking good. I'm not gonna lie, man. People are getting their jokes off. I really think 2K20 was like an aberration, and I think it's safe to say that it was before the game came out. I mean, just the way that this looks, like 2K20 didn't even look the way that this game looks gameplay wise. So like, I think 2K20 was an aberration. I really do. I have no choice but to believe that what happened between Ukes and 2K, their divorce, so to speak, is really what caused it to be like that. So we'll see next week.
Trent Seven's in this game. That's crazy. Why not?
Exactly. Well, old Walter's in it. Probably the last time he's going to be in the game under that.
They probably don't change. You think they could change the name?
No, because it kind of goes into like
send a firmware update or something.
It would be tough too, because they probably already did all of the announce files. The announce like Michael Cole.
Yeah.
That's probably already in the can and been in the can for a while. And also like a lot of that ties into just the development pipeline of you got to change all of his files everywhere. So if Walter has a certain animation, and I'm not saying this is true, but like let's just say he has a certain animation where he falls differently than everybody else, they have to reprogram that in to the game, and that would that could break something else. So it's just best for them to just leave it alone right now and then fix it later when they can fix all these files. So I'm fine with Walter. I mean, everyone cheers his fucking name, chants his name to anyway. I love that they're ribbing on them chanting his name by him pronouncing how his name is spelled or said on NXT. I like how they're going about that.
Good heel heat. Good for Gunther.
I like that. Anyway, this is another big thing, man. Cesaro. This came out of nowhere. This came out of nowhere on Friday. Cesaro let his contract expire, and he quietly exited WWE. This nigga ain't said nothing. He ain't tweeted nothing. He ain't posted nothing. He just left, and he's on his way. A lot of people have been reporting that him and WWE could not come to an agreement on his new contract, which led to him basically expiring, same way that Johnny Gargano did, same way Adam Cole did as well, and Kyle O'Reilly. So they just kind of let it lapse, and he left. And now this isn't to say that he couldn't come back. I don't know why it's a foregone conclusion that people wouldn't think that he wouldn't go back. I'm thinking that he's looking for a certain dollar figure that I don't think any other company could give him, and that's my opinion.
So first thing we got to talk about is the little bit of misinformation surrounding last year, because it was reported that Cesaro re-signed a brand new spanking ass, fresh ass new deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, he back. Listen, and he getting the world title shot. Of course he is. And then when he was released, I guess it was revealed that it was maybe only an extension. To which
he wasn't released.
Not released, but it expired. Like he signed an extension. He might have been like, yo, I'm not really sure what I want to do. So here's how I suspect this entire thing went down. He was approached with a brand new deal at some point, late 2020, early 2021.
Yeah.
He was not sure if he wanted to continue to stay long term, but he says, you know what? I'll give it one more year to see if I like things and how things are going. Now, WWE, to want to butter him up to keep him around, was like, oh, my nigga, WrestleMania singles match. Do the airplane spin, my guy. We're going to give you Seth Rollins. We're going to give you a hot program with that. And then we go double down. You're going to get Roman Reigns in your own special main event match for a pay-per-view. Yeah, Edge is going to come back right afterwards. But still, you get the main event match. Like it's still on the closing of the show against Roman Reigns. So they gave him that. And then WWE, I'm assuming, it was like, yo, so don't you want to like sign? Don't you want to sign? There's more WrestleManias coming up. We got WrestleMania. It's about to be stupendous. And Cesaro's like, who knows if he's like talking to somebody. Daniel Bryan was like, yo, they lit over here. They let me do anything on this show.
Nigga, do you know who Moriarty is?
I've just been wrestling whoever. Like, I fill in my own booking sheet and I just put a name there and they book around that shit. So who knows if he was talking to one of them. But he chose, I guess, not to, or they couldn't come to a new deal. He might have been also being like, yo, y'all gave Kev a big deal. Y'all gave Sammy a big deal. So I'm assuming they giving out bags.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yo, let me get a bag or two. And there was like, I don't know, Cesaro, you know. But to be honest with you, if I was Cesaro, I'd have been also like, yo, give me a bag. I've been here 10 years.
11.
I am the stalwart of whatever the fuck you throw me into. You want me to be tag team with Tyson Kidd? I'm there. You want me to be a tag team with Sheamus? I'm there. You want me to be in a tag team with Shinsuke Nakamura? I'm there. You want me to be in a bald-headed tag team with Ricochet? I am there. I do everything you ask me to.
Yeah.
Let me just get some bread.
I agree. I mean, know your worth. Know your worth. If he's like, here's the thing. He's not leaving because like he didn't get the title. He's not leaving because he's scared that they like big guys and he's a small. You know what I'm saying? Like that pussy shit that everybody else is leaving about. That weak ass shit everybody else is leaving about. He wasn't worried about that. He wasn't worried about that. He was worried about, hey, I just need a bag. I'm grown. I'm getting old. He what, 41? He's like, listen, man, I do this however long. I done lost teeth working with y'all.
Facts.
I'll do it some more. But they said, hey, we just paid Brock. we got to pay Ronda. Talk to us after Mania season, baby. We kind of locked already.
And he was like, I can't wait for that shit because I know I'm about to be in some battle royal or some bullshit being thrown out by damn Omos. So
yeah,
I'm a chill. I'm sure he was like, yo, I got plenty of bread in the tank.
Yeah.
He
doesn't have to go anywhere. That's my whole thing about it, is that like
he probably will, but he doesn't have to. Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go anywhere. He could do whatever he wants to do, and he absolutely should do whatever he wants to do. But I think, you know, and we always talk about this, where the signals get crossed is when it's Cesaro deserved more. Cesaro deserved better. And it's like, all right, looking at how long he's been there, what he's been through, what he's been able to accomplish. I look at it like, yo, he got his WrestleMania win and he was featured on WrestleMania in a big match. They got time. To me, that's something he can hang his hat on and be like, yo, I did that. He didn't go out looking like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't go out looking stupid. Obviously, they weren't gonna push him if he wasn't gonna resign. So like, I understand that. But like, I feel like Cesaro's run was exactly where we're supposed to be. People were like world champion. I'm like, bro, he wasn't even a world champion in ROH.
I would have liked if he was world champion, but yes, he was definitely like at any time during any part of the brand, there were at least like 5 people bigger than Cesaro. What I've loved him. I'm selfish because I love Cesaro. Like, love Cesaro. Like,
yeah,
you know, even from, I feel like anything that he was put into, I mean, it wasn't always the best, but I still cared to like watch Cesaro. Like, I'm not gonna not watch Cesaro. So maybe I'm learning now that I'm developing a bias towards Cesaro because I really did like Cesaro. Like, I was like, yo, I have his shirt, I have all this other shit. I was like, damn, I really like Cesaro. Like, Cesaro's really like my guy. I'm very concerned about this release for him. But I wouldn't say just judging the kind of company that WWE is, I wouldn't say they just mismanaged him and world champion stuff, because WWE is going to do what's best for WWE. They're not doing what's best for fucking professional wrestling. This is a business. Now, I'll say Cesaro should be able to, if Cesaro does go anywhere, I mean, he should get a bag. He's been on national television for the last 10 years.
Boy, Garrick Bischoff said it best. He said it best. He said he might want to just wait and go to Japan and do some other stuff and see what happens in AEW in a year, and not be a guy who debut right after a guy. And I was like, that's absolutely, to me, the smartest course of action for Cesaro to go and heat New Japan up. But the thing is that Cesaro got a wife. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he has kids, but like, you know what I mean? Like
He got a
he got a
coffee
lot.
shop. He got at least a business that he running, so he might be straight. To be honest with you,
Yeah, he can't really go fuck with Japan like that. So it's like it's very slim pickings. Like Impact probably won't give him what he wants. You know what I'm saying? AEW probably will, but it's like, look at what goes on. Like that, I said it in the chat last week or in the Discord. If you're not on our Discord, definitely sign up for the Patreon to get access to it. But I said y'all are gonna will him into AEW and then be right in this chat talking about what happened because that's what happens with everyone that's been signed over there.
hey man, if Ricky Starks gets jumped by some random person that we don't find on Wednesday, and we see a spot open in the Golden Cheerio match, I'm just assuming Cesaro.
Bruh. And then 6 months later, like, damn, that was a good Christian run, as in Christian the wrestler run. That was good. Listen, I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it. The proof is in the pudding. Don't wish for that. Don't wish that on that man.
Give us some time.
Let him be.
Cesaro.
Give it some time, bro. See what happens. See how they treat Keith Lee. Because anybody talking about? Anybody talking about?
I mean, he in the big ladder match, so I'm assuming he's gonna do a backflip, some cartwheel, some crazy.
Listen, man, he was staring up and down. He was staring Will Hobbs up and down.
Will Hobbs, Powerhouse Will Hobbs. He's like, yo, this ain't Big E. Shit.
Well, with Will Hobbs, put them next to each other, and I'm like, okay, one of them is a big boy, and one of them is a big boy. Moving on. Swerve and Jeff Hardy, new signees to AEW. I'm guessing they will debut.
It's not confirmed, but it's pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they will debut on Sunday. I think it's a foregone conclusion.
Is there like deal thing up? I don't know if Jeff Hardy's is. Swerve might be.
It is. His thing was Swerve's obviously is he wrestled at Terminus last week, so yeah, I would expect him to be at Revolution. A lot of that a night of debuts, if you will. A lot of debuts.
Yeah. God bless.
What's the ceiling for Swerve? He still feels very much
TNT champion.
He's still a talented guy to me, but like not a finished product.
No, he's definitely not. But here's the thing. I also think, I think there needs to be, judging based on kind of his NXT run, it's like you gotta, the creativity that he had, I do think he's creative, and I do think, like you said, that he's pretty good. He's just not a finished product yet. It needs to be fine-tuned and developed in a way. Like, it can't just be his own machinations, because I think he's one of those guys whose imagination and creativity go so far that it could go way off the spectrum and lose people. I think it needs to be honed in. I think it needs to be like a developed product. For instance, to me, it kind of reminds me of like Aleister Black, right? Like Aleister Black has these great ideas, but where does he fit in the course of this professional wrestling show? He's his own. You know, people talk about the Cody verse. It's the Aleister Black verse because honestly, or Malachi Black at this point.
He looks goofy.
Yeah. He doesn't fit in the context of the show. So you kind of got to get in where you fit. Like, the only people who fit in the context of the show really are like white people. But and you know the wrestling ones. You know what I'm saying? The ones who fit in the show. Adam Cole somehow smooth like butter, just slipped right in. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Omega, just right in, just fit in there. It's like, yo, don't even get your feet wet, just jump right in, you know? But certain people just don't fit when you have these creative minds and these creative gimmicks. Like, if they're not even given time to develop, they don't even fit in the show. So right. I wish the best for him. I assume he's going to be, considering who his friends are in the show, I'm assuming he'll be all right. You know, over the last couple months, he's been posing up with Sammy Guevara. He's been posing up with what's my man's name? Little skateboard kid.
Darby
Allin. He's been posted up with them, so I'm assuming he's gonna be all right. I assume
he'll be all right. I just don't. He didn't really move me till his whole thing changed. His whole, like, he went heel and all that stuff. I like the crazy version of him. And then like Hit Row happened. I'm telling you, things changed for me when he rapped that one night on NXT, and I said, wait a minute. I said, I like the way it looked, and then I was like, no, the rapping killed it for me. So I hope he's not rapping. If
I
he
hope
starts
so.
rapping,
Yeah, I hope neither.
it's over. So that is No Holds Barred. And after the break, we're going to get into SmackDown and in a very build up, wink, wink, something's going to happen next week edition of Raw right after the break.
For once, a man of few words.
Good. I'm happy you accept, because I've wanted this match for a long time. You've wanted this match for a long time. And clearly, you've all wanted this match for a long time. But I tell you what, AJ, I want the Bulldog, AJ. I don't want the guy who's been playing tag team to almost for the last year.
That's what you did to me.
Oh! The ultimate opportunist strikes again. The Rated R Superstar battering the Phenomenal One.
Listen, man, I'm going to tell you right now, Edge will more than likely be in the top 5 wrestlers of the year by the end of this year.
Andrew really got a hard on for WrestleMania. The man gotta be there. By any means necessary. I feel like even last year it was like he was just tight because Daniel Bryan was trying to get in where he fit in. It was like my nigga, like stop, like you really
listen
9 years, bro.
But listen, like he's better than he's ever been to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Better than he's ever been. That end segment on Raw was one of the best beatdowns I've seen him ever do, and one of the best beatdowns they've done. They actually ended Raw on somewhat of a shocker. Like it actually like it made sense. Like I liked it a lot. So we're gonna talk about Raw in that fantastic Edge segment. After we talk about SmackDown, which had a really good Brock and Roman segment, and it was just a weird show altogether. Like SmackDown is just kind of like just get us to the show. Just get us to the show.
It don't have enough players, yo. It really don't. Like it just doesn't. Like you need more. Like when we talk about that late 2021 SmackDown, late 2021 SmackDown, it had everybody, bro. Like SmackDown was a show that you don't have enough time to do everything, so you need to have people who are flexible and be able to present different types of them. They could do segments, they can do in-ring matches, they could be on the show for 5 seconds and still have an impact. SmackDown does not have that at all. It's very slim pickings. First things first, we got to talk about this. Your homegirl showed back up.
Sasha.
Big Sasha. She
back at work. She peeked her head out and said, "No jobs? All right, I'm
back." She's back. Listen, she's back. And our girl Naomi is going to help her get her first WrestleMania win ever. Because to be honest with you, this was something in the back of my head when everyone was saying, yo, what's up for Sasha? Usually when people are like, yo, what's this person going to do? Especially if it's a woman, it means they probably going to team up with somebody. Because we ain't got no ideas. So they announced, or Naomi announced, Naomi was on commentary during this match for whatever reason. Beat up Shotzi. Shotzi, turn face. It's not working. Figure it out.
She announced that she had been going through some. Obviously, her dad passed away, but she said she'd also been having like some lower. She was like on a massage or a chiropractor's YouTube, and said she had been having lower back problems for quite some time. So, I would imagine that's what's kind of keeping her. She looked good there though. She looked good in the match against Sasha.
Don't say that too loud. Don't say that too loud. Just be like, just bumps. But yeah, I think the Naomi Sasha Banks, I mean, if you're gonna do something, make history while doing it. Because if they can become the first, Black women's tag team champion, something that has, I mean, it's only been done in Impact, but you're talking about in WWE. But if they can become that, I'm sure actually, what's her face from Impact must be sick. Who's in AEW right now? What's her face?
Damn, not Tasha Steelz. Kara Hogan.
Oh, she must be sick. If they get the first Black women's tag team moniker, she's gonna be sick. She's gonna be like, excuse me, hi, hello. Not actually. Y'all don't be hating on me. But yeah. But I think, if you can't do much for Mania because a lot of things are like, yo, what's Sasha gonna do? Make history. Sasha Banks, Naomi. I'm not mad at it at all. Because where's Zelina and Carmella been, to be honest with you? And first of all, they don't even show up on SmackDown, which is wild. If you're not going to have them booked on Raw to do anything, at least have them show up on SmackDown.
Carmella getting a whole different bag right now.
She getting a kink bag.
I respect her having a show where she talks about things that we don't want to know about.
I'm just like, girl, who asked for this?
I'm all for being body positive, and I love that she's happy with Corey Graves. That is fantastic. I'm so happy for you. I do not care about y'all's sex life. I really don't.
This is why they put it on WWE's YouTube. I'm like, yo, y'all figure that out on another YouTube I don't gotta subscribe to. don't fit it in between, top 10 on Friday Night SmackDowns and Bianca Belair's best moments and shit like that. Like, nah.
Let me see what the first episode is wedged between. Let me see. Well, actually, it's like more than one clip. It's like an 11-minute clip and a 9-minute clip. I'm guessing because they don't want to go over a certain amount for algorithm purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But it is in between. Okay, so Oscar versus Charlotte
for boredom purposes.
Oscar versus Charlotte Flair is directly before it, and directly after is Ronda Rousey canvas to canvas.
Hey, listen. Hey, get it how you can. Just don't let this be the reason why,
And then there's another clip. There's a Great Ball of Fire match between Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, and right after it is Roman Reigns tries to nail down just one WrestleMania moment that he's had. Yeah.
Well, God bless him.
God bless. Godspeed. Ricochet. It's been reported that he's now considered the number 2 babyface on SmackDown by process of elimination because Cesaro is gone.
That is wild AF. First of all, I guess number 1 would be Drew McIntyre. I'm assuming.
Yes, he's the number 1 babyface on the show.
Well, push him like a damn babyface. What the hell is wrong with y'all people, man?
They got Drew on the wildest holding pattern because it's so clear and obvious that Roman and Drew is going to happen again. And it's probably going to be like your summer program. But
what if Roman don't fuck with Drew? What if that? I'm not saying that's going to happen. But what if you don't fuck with Drew? Because it don't make no sense how this ain't happened. We've had a year.
I think as circumstances opened up, such as crowds coming back and Brock coming back and, him being more willing to have an active role in the company again, I think as circumstances opened up, you kind of had to do this. Like, I think that Drew and Roman could have effectively main evented, one of the WrestleMania nights, sure, but it probably wouldn't have been the biggest match of the show. Like, this is a bigger match than that.
Yeah,
no, Brock and Roman is a match than that. I think Drew and Roman, you can go to it at any time. I mean, they work together a lot. I think that really what you want to do is kind of get Drew back in, have him say, which is hilarious to say this, but he's the guy who beat Baron Corbin, who was undefeated, and like that's kind of be your thing, and that's fine or whatever. But I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna let this one play out with Drew because I do think Karma's gonna come back around to put him back into the title picture. But I mean, they really got to figure out what they're gonna do after this is over because Brock realistically is not gonna be on that show, and nor is he gonna be on Raw. And I think Raw is more set up to have a big figure on the show than SmackDown is right now.
No, absolutely. Well, what do you think about, since we're speaking about that big ass world championship match that we have for WrestleMania, what do you think about them now changing it to a unification match?
We've seen it. Winner take all. We've seen it. We saw it, 3 years ago? Becky?
It's not winner take all. It's unification.
I feel like that's just what they're saying it is. There's not going to be, I feel like if there is just one belt, that would mean, are they going to are they going to cheat and give Roman the WWE title, like absorbing the Universal and then making the new Raw title the NBC Universal title?
That would be crazy AF. I hope not. But yeah, yeah.
The NBC, like, think about it. Like, it makes sense.
Peacock World Championship.
I can see that only being a thing if they really wanted to if they really wanted to give Roman the lineage of the WWE title and then have his reign moved over to that. I think that would be the only reason they would do that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't really expect, like, to be honest, I don't really expect it to be. Both shows are going to have a belt, is what I'm assuming. Whether it happens, whether they make a new belt or something, or it just doesn't work out, or there's imagine a disqualification finish at the end of fucking WrestleMania.
They do it. They would do it. do not put it past these niggas. They would do it. Everyone would be pissed, but you cannot be pissed if you do not expect that they will not do things. They will absolutely do that shit and not feel bad about it. So just think about it. What else happened on SmackDown? I was talking about Ricochet.
Yeah, I'm talking about Ricochet.
Sami Zayn to be more fair, having a celebration. Johnny Knoxville comes out. Looks to be that Johnny Knoxville and Sammy is a thing, but Ricochet has a title match on Friday. He basically took Sammy to task about being a fighting champion and said, "Hey, if you're a fighting champion, face me on Friday." Now I don't see Ricochet winning, but strangely I do see him playing into this Johnny Knoxville stuff more than just this week if he's going to be the number 2 babyface. But we'll see.
I feel like, yeah, he's probably not going to win, but I want him to win. How about that? I think he'll get it after Mania. If they want to do that, okay,
he'd look good with the belt. He would look good with the belt. They
need to listen. They need to stop playing because he's good, and despite people say, "Oh, you're not connection on the mic," he is something that is like out of this world athletic. Where I feel like time after time again, he's managed to amaze, wow, and win over crowds with just his athleticism. But
you know what?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying now? He's going away from. I feel like they're changing his style too, where he's going away from all of the indie-rific stuff that people really love, but like they still love him. Be clear, he still does enough.
Yeah.
Where like just through his selling, just through some of the things that he does, but they did away with the 630. They did that. He has a completely new move. Like they're moving him to a more grounded character. I think he's a better talker, man. I do think in a lot of aspects he has improved. But like you said, they need to shit or get off the pot with him. Like I know he's not gonna win on Friday. But if you put him in a position where you feel like he can succeed, just let him sink or swim.
I feel like sorry to cut you off, but I feel like just that move thing is because he's so good. You don't want to normalize it.
Yeah.
All these things. You don't want to normalize the 630. That is an awe-inspiring move. You don't necessarily want to normalize that move where it's like something you expect every time to the point you get sick of it. It was, I think, ruin his stock. So yeah, he
also ruin his body too. Like I think you want to lead like Seth Rollins doing the Phoenix Splash. That's an event. Like we know he's gonna bust it out, but the way that he times it is perfect. You know what I mean? Like a 630 should be the Ricochet's nuclear option, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Like it should be like his final, like this ain't putting him down, this gotta put him down. You know what I mean? And again, like I think the Sammy's fantastic. Johnny Knoxville obviously is game for anything. I think he actually works really well in this environment as well. Because he's also an actor, so of course he understands it, and also a stuntman too, so he understands all of this process. But get Ricochet in the game, man. Like I understand the celebrity part of it. I think it'll be a really funny match, but get Ricochet in the game, man. Just do it. Ronda and Charlotte. Is it me? This feels like it has less heat than like Becky and Bianca does.
Oh, it absolutely does. People are not invested in this feud. Like, and the thing is,
are they tired of Charlotte, or is it the way Ronda's being presented? That's my big question.
I don't think it's the way Ronda is at all. I think they're tired of Charlotte. I think and I think just in general, the way they book her, it's similar to like pre Roman before he returned. Where I think he's just, he's being given the opportunity because he's Roman. And it doesn't feel like he earned it. It doesn't feel like the character's gotten over. It doesn't feel like he went through the fire. It doesn't feel like anything. And I think the same thing as Charlotte. Charlotte is only champion because she's Charlotte Flair. And yeah, she's good. Don't get me wrong. We biggest Charlotte stands ever. Like, she can go. But it's not this isn't going to sustain. This can't sustain for that long. Like, you can't keep going back to the well and doing this. And it's the same thing with Ronda Rousey. Like, people are expecting like, oh, Ronda will win or even Charlotte will win. But like, what really changes if either of them wins? What do we expect? What gratification do we get if either one wins? Ronda Rousey's getting the title shot because she's Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair's a champion because she's Charlotte Flair. Right. Whereas Becky Lynch, you know that she's a scrappy, Irish who has scrounged her way to the top once more and managed to stay there. And Bianca Belair has absolutely busted her ass for the last number of years and is actually likable. So
yeah, and Becky is actually getting over as an unlikable heel. Like, she's actually getting over as someone that people cannot stand and is consistent in that. So yeah, I really don't think it's a Ronda problem. As much as people on Twitter would like you to think that it is. I mean, she's getting great reactions. I think that when Charlotte comes out, she's like getting nothing. She got nothing from that crowd on Friday.
And I think Ronda, I mean, just based on her videos on her YouTube, she's very self-aware of how she's gonna even to a detriment, I think. I think at some point she's even too self-aware to the point where she feels like they're going to boo me, so why even do any of this? Like, they're going to do this. Like, when she had the video, she came out and like pretty much tried to turn on the crowd before they could like really enjoy her because she felt like they were going to boo her anyway. But I think you got to take yourself out of the moment of like, what works best for you and tries to work towards the crowd. Like, I think if she used that energy, making her character work as opposed to trying to figure out like, how can I up them because I know they're going to boo me, she would probably get cheered. Yeah. So
last segment, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. This is the most we talked about SmackDown in a while. I thought it was great to the point, all we needed, but it also felt like a segment that was built for the video package. Like, all the shit they were saying was for the video package.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I forgot what they said, but Roman Reigns dialogue, especially. This camera is mine. Everything belongs to me.
They're playing up the megalomania of him and how he's, his ego has become all encompassing.
They don't pay it off though, which is the only thing I truly loved about the Seth thing is how there was a vulnerability and like, Roman Reigns actually think, because they don't play it off of like this guy, like his ego should eventually trounce him one day. I just feel like, they should, I don't know, man. Like, they need to play off that a little bit more, and they need to like play into Roman Reigns' megalomaniac side and actually like come up with an actual story towards this, because it's at this point it's getting out of control. He's going to be unbeaten like forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and I don't really want that to be, I guess, the legacy of his character. I do want him to be taken over at some point, but hey, WrestleMania, right? Stupendous.
Listen, I keep telling people it's really not up to us to book this shit. They've booked themselves into this corner. Let them work their way out of it. Like, I think that even when we predict this show, I'm gonna predict it right as what we see it. Whatever happens after, that's on y'all. Like, y'all booked yourselves into this. If y'all have something coming for this, a new generation, new story to go into 2022. I'm all in to see what it is, but as far as trying to figure out what y'all about to do, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm not fantasy booking this one. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Let's get into Raw, which I felt this Raw was very much tune in next week for the real shit.
Raw. Really? I mean, okay. Well, let me see. Let me look back what happened.
Did you like it, or was it like? Am I wilding?
I don't even remember if I liked it. Yo, Raw is such a blur, to be honest with you, to be really real with you. Raw is such a blur every week because it's 3 hours. And the fact that it's so like match heavy as well. So I remember enjoying obviously the opening segment of Kevin Owens coming out with his hat to the side. I thought that was hilarious. I thought this man is funny. And then Alpha Academy truly coming into not really coming into their own, but continued great success with Alpha Academy. The fact that Chad Gable is a major part of the show is wow.
Yeah. We've been waiting for it. It's time.
Yeah, and they had a great tag team match to open the show, but I feel like this is kind of like on par the course. But I mean, it's not that it's bad. It's just shit I expect. I don't know.
you should expect greatness from these guys, because
I like to be from time to time. I like to not know what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. And there was, I mean, them losing the match, I think a lot of like wrestling reviewers are like, why do they do this? But it's like, you're really trying to get over the fact that Seth and Kevin are on a high, so that when they eventually lose, which I think is going to happen next week, that you're left thinking, oh my God, they had all the momentum. What are they going to do for WrestleMania? And then boom, you get your answers.
Mm-hmm.
For Kevin, I'm not sure you'll get that on Raw. I'm pretty sure you'll get it on the actual show. I'm 100% sure of that. I think he'll just show up, and that's when it's going to happen. Because you don't want to. Do you want to reveal that this is going to happen and just give people a moment, or do you want to, like, I think I asked it last week. It's like I really think that Seth will definitely get his opponent, and that will happen on Raw. It's KO. I'm not so sure. I think it's going to be up to literally that show, like John Cena was against Undertaker that one time.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows? But they beat the Alpha Academy, giving them more hashtag momentum going into the show. What else happened on Raw? We had a lot of shit happen. We had
the
six-woman tag.
6-woman tag. I was about to just say that. The ladies, hashtag the ladies showing out. Bianca Belair with big main character energy. Completely overtaking any. Rhea Ripley is just like, yeah, I guess I'll go along with whatever we're doing right now. Liv Morgan's like, I'm cool with just being here for the ride. The hair whip. I like that they didn't save it for Mania.
Because it shows that she's a threat, regardless of, from all aspects.
And I just think they're gonna do something else. I feel like Becky is like, yo, let's not even wait to do the hair whip thing. Let's get it out the way. Let's make it a major part of this, and let's kind of like rework how we're gonna actually do this. So I think we're gonna get something a little bit different. I'm glad they didn't save it for Mania, but we still get to see how hungry and how Bianca Belair is pretty much like fed up at this point with Becky. Like, she's fed up.
I really think the stip needs to be either there must be a winner. Last time, like if Bianca wins, her and Becky can't face each other for the title as long as one of them has it. Like, there has to be some type of stip, even if it's like because we've seen them go at it before. We've seen Becky try and cheat, and beat Bianca by cheating. Like, I really want to see. Not all of these matches need to be regular ass match. You know what I'm saying? It's like something needs to, and I think that was my only kind of qualm with last year's WrestleMania, is that all of it was regular ass match, and I think they need to actually add some stakes here. Like, I'm pretty sure that Sammy and Knoxville is probably going to be like a jackass match or some shit. But
that would be sick. Well, what about our rumored match? So we left this out of the rumor mill, but Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee. How that happens, I'm not, bruh. I'm going to be sitting there on Thursday just like everybody else, because I don't know how this happens or anything of the rather.
I feel like, and this was a news report from John Pollock over at Post Wrestling. He had heard about it and announced it damn near right after it was announced that Vince was going to be on the McAfee show, which it was kind of whack. It was kind of whack. I'm gonna admit, it was kind of whack. Like, I would have liked for this to be a surprise. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
we all got a scoop though. We all got to get the scoops though.
I would have liked for it to be, maybe give it away the day before or the day of or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is such a thing, because I don't even think he got the full thing right. Like, it does really look like, from what happened on Raw, that it's going to be Austin Theory in his place. Or it's going to be Austin Theory doing something of the sort, because he said he's going to be there too. So I'm already good. But the thing is, like, we were excited about this interview because we're like, what is he going to talk about? And now we already know that he's probably not going to talk about anything. It's probably going to be all the work. And that's why I'm upset that he spoiled it.
Yeah, I agree. You ruined another great interview.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, I want to hear him talk about certain stuff, and I think that we're coming off of Brock and Pat, which was, to me, one of my favorite interviews so far this year. Right. And then we get Vince McMahon and say, oh, he's gonna say more stuff, and we're not gonna get that. We're gonna get whatever this is. Listen, Pat can go. Vince, one of the greatest in-ring performers of our time.
Vince is old as fuck, so I'm sure he's in great shape, but he's old as hell. So I wouldn't even put the. I just put Austin Theory in the match. That's what I would say. What else happened on Raw?
A lot of stuff happened on Raw. We also had Reggie forsaking us on the last day of Black History Month.
Well, that's been his energy the entire time. I'll be honest. And that's honestly been the timeline's entire energy the entire time. Did you see Nikita Lyons on fucking NXT? That's the entire timeline wanted to completely collapse, but they were just like, it's Black History Month. It's Black History Month. Only one more week.
So what happens if it's Black History Month and you got a white wife? Are you supposed to just divorce her for the month?
I don't know. I guess they didn't want to thirst on the timeline over a very thick white woman.
Yeah. Randy Orton looked to get injured off of a splash from Montez Ford. Hope he's okay.
I think he's fine. According to Montez, I think he's fine. He says he put a tweet out a couple hours ago and just like night fine, wife fine, everybody's fine, something along those lines. Life is good. Something along those lines. So I think he's good.
I do think they were supposed to win, though. I do think the Prophets were supposed to win because Riddle was not even in position to save the pin and the whole Dawkins thing. I think they're setting up Dawkins to be the challengers after Mania, obviously.
Which would be good because it looked like they ain't been doing shit for how long? They just been the middleman. It's like, oh, we need to put someone over, but everybody got to do that at some point. So
yeah, Finn Balor, Damian Priest. Solid little 10-minute sprint there. I dug it a lot. Balor and Priest have fantastic energy. I said last week that Finn was going to win this title, and he did win this title this week. You had to do the title turn here. I think that as much as I like Damian Priest, he was not doing much with this. They had him beat everybody in the world, and it just felt like he wasn't picking up the type of traction that I feel like they probably wanted him to. And Finn Balor, you can give him any title, and he's gonna get over with it. So,
him with the title makes me realize how ugly that title fucking is. Like
that title's so big and gaudy but it's American.
Yeah, it's true. It is American.
It's American, man. It's American. That's the type of shit we like. He turns heel right after. I'm guessing we're going to get them at WrestleMania. Someone asked, I believe it was Jeff on Twitter, say, "Oh, are we gonna need the Demon?" It really, to me, looks like they're going away from the bad Damien, good Damien thing. I feel like they completely scrapped it and are just gonna go full on with him being bad Damien, which I'm fine with. I felt like he was really good as a heel in NXT. I feel like as a babyface, he was struggling next to other babyfaces on Raw because they just had better. But it's like this show is now so heel dependent that we really need some strong baby faces, and Finn with the title, I think is a good idea as long as they do right by him and, you know, have him actually be a baby face that wins, you know?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I agree.
They're definitely running this back at WrestleMania. I think Finn gets 2-0 on Damian Priest, and he goes on to possibly Ciampa after WrestleMania. I think they'll start giving him the workhorse people. I'll bring Apollo Crews out, please. Where has he been at? Like, get some of these people back on TV. I think Finn is the guy that'll be able to do that for you. But Priest and Balor looks to be the big one for this show. Tommaso Ciampa showed up. Hey, applause to him, man. He's trying. Applause to him.
Listen,
he's trying.
Beard has died, bro. Like, come on.
And he looks good out there. He looks like he belongs out there. And people are going to talk about the music change and all of that stuff. He actually went on Instagram this morning and said, you know, I'm okay with the music. This is what the music means to me.
As he should. He better say that shit.
Listen, I don't give a fuck about that music. This is a guy who came out to silence at one point in NXT for months.
Yeah, the music doesn't matter. The music is even more now. The music is now a sign of like he's here. Like, just
exactly.
Let him cook. Like, he's been in NXT for this damn long. We never thought we'd get him on the main roster. If he's here, if they change his music, so whatever at this point, because he's here at this point. I don't give a damn about the music. Like, I really don't. It's not a major loss to me. Like Shayna Baszler's music was a major loss in my opinion.
Haven't seen her since the music changed.
Listen, hey,
I've not
there it
seen her
goes.
since the music changed. But yeah, I again, I thought he looked good. There's clearly building. As I said, the NXT to main roster pipeline feels so much more natural now that they're booking it seemingly with the writers from that show on NXT as well. So it feels good. It's definitely good. So
I agree.
Ziggler and Rude versus Ciampa and Breaker on NXT this week. Finally,
hey, wait a minute.
Oh, sorry, what? Oh God, Miz.
Yo, the Miz had a great promo last night. Did you listen to him?
I did, but he says the same shit over and over again.
But it's the way that he worded it this time. He was like, yo, I know I've been getting cheered. Oh, y'all people respect me now. And then that's where the boos came in. I was like, oh, he flipped it on niggas.
He said, I think I heard some cheers. And I said, Ohio said, no, you didn't, nigga.
Oh my God. And he flipped it on him. I was like, yo, look at Miz coming with it. First of all, he barring up both Rey Mysterio, and he was like, yo, y'all the same shit. Like, I'm here flexing with the young niggas.
All right. Hey, boot Meelz off the show, please.
Man, him and Miz and Logan Paul doing the gritty on TikTok.
Oh my God. Yeah, I get Dominic takes wild unnecessary losses in these matches though. How are you losing to the Hurt Business?
Unnecessarily losses? My man is trash. Bruh, like he need to go. Every time I look at him, I'm like, yo, you need to go to the Performance Center so they get you right. Trust me, they gonna get you right. Man got no muscle mass, and everyone in NXT up there pushing iron, bro. And they gotta watch this lanky ass, big ass kid jumping around on Monday Night Raw. I'm like, yo, they told me I couldn't eat this anymore down in NXT, and I could never eat it again. And I see Dominic out here.
He had a good promo. I thought he had a good promo. He sounded more natural.
Yeah, he definitely did. But he need to go down to NXT. He need to figure it out. Like we need to get it together. Shape it up. Come on. Stand up.
I feel like he's getting better promos, and Ray is just kind of lost out there sometimes. Because I thought Ray was one of the better promos of like, what was it, 2020, 2021? Like I thought I was like, when did Ray learn how to talk like this? Like he was like killing shit. And now he's just kind of like, I feel like it's like way too scripted. And I feel like he's getting lost in it.
I feel like he just want his kid to take all the attention. He don't even want the attention. You're like, yo, just bar him up. Come on.
Yeah. Finally, last segment. Edge, AJ Styles. We knew it was AJ Styles. Comes out. Yeah. Edge says, I want the Bulldog. And I said, oh man. When he said the Bulldog, I was like, oh, he's being patronizing. Because that's what they call AJ when he first debuted in WWE. And everyone hated it. And I think he even said that, like, no, he didn't say he didn't hate it, but like he said like he understood why people hated it. But I was like, oh no, is Edge gonna do the thing? And Edge did the thing.
I hate when they were like, yo, give me the old person back. I'm like, yo, bro, he ain't been here that long. I was like, yo, give me that old nigga back. Like, imagine saying that to like fucking Becky. I want that old last kicker back. I want the old jittery Irish jigging bitch that you were before. Like,
yeah, all right.
I want the old Edge back. I want Metalingus. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares?
He attacks AJ, gives him a really good beatdown. AJ tries to return the favor with the phenomenal forearm. Edge dodges it, kicks him in the nuts. And I said, oh, this is boy Edge Green. Beats on him some more, but then the facials, the emotions, Edge looking up, looking like he's gonna cry, and then basically it's almost like he was saying, you know, I can't be this guy anymore. I have to be this guy now, and then gives him the concerto. Really good stuff here. It seems to me that they did this concerto thing to keep AJ and Edge off the show because they probably have a lot of shit planned. So I would expect to not see these guys again until maybe the 21st of March.
Yeah, let's give him a couple weeks. Let's have Edge. You cut a little promos, cut some from his house, put a video package together. We have AJ as a star returning of the rather. Get some play on Edge, and we back in business. Night 1 and night 2.
Night 1 or night 2? Night 2. Night 2 seems to be like the wrestling show. Night 1 seems to be like the spectacle and the women's show. Like there's the Becky and Charlotte are defending on that night. Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio are on that night. We now know that Roman and Brock are going to be main eventing night 2. That seems to be like the wrestle show where because like the thing that was funny to me last year was that the cards weren't balanced. Night 1 was by and large better than night 2.
Right.
Like you probably don't even remember what happened in night 2 other than the main event.
No, I don't.
Exactly. Asuka and Rhea were night 2, I believe. Like that's what happened then. And then there was I believe
Shane and Braun. What night was that?
Night 2? Hold on, let's see. WrestleMania 37. I really don't remember. I remember everything from night 1. Not so much night 2.
I think Big E was night 1 or night 2.
Big E was night 2, sir. Natty and Tamina, Bobby and Drew were night 1. Cesaro, Seth were night 1. AJ and Almost versus New Day was night 1. Braun and Shane was night 1. Bad Bunny was night 1. And then you had Bianca and Sasha. Kevin Owens and Sammy with Logan Paul. Damn, that's crazy. I forgot he was here last year too. You had Rhea and Asuka. You had Apollo and Big E and Sheamus and Riddle. But again, night 2 was the wrestling show. It was a bunch of wrestling ass niggas on that show.
Facts. Big
so
facts.
it looks like they're gonna do that again. Night 1 is a spectacle. That's the Saturday show. That's the one where everyone's gonna have eyes on it. So yeah, you think we're gonna have? And it's Saturday. Like you got to big up for it. So I think AJ's and Ed should open night 2, and they should go crazy with it. I cannot wait to see that match. Don't need to sell me on it, so you don't got to put them on there every night. So the match is official. This card is within the last week and a half, 2 weeks. It's shaped up. It's really shaped up. So there it is, and that is this week in wrestling. So next week, Meelz will not be here. I'm gonna find a suitable jousting partner for these wrestling takes, and we're gonna do some fun stuff next week. So Meelz, we'll see you in 2 weeks. I won't be here, but they'll see you in 2 weeks.
We're gonna have fun in 2 weeks.
Oh God. All right. So for Meelz, I am Justin. Make sure you follow the A Show RNC on Twitter. We got a lot of content coming on social. Obviously, follow us and subscribe to our Patreon as well, because we got a lot of content coming, including Spot Caller, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, as well as the season finale of Legendary Run.
You got 99 patrons again. Now, if your fiance wants to become a patron,
oh man,
she would. All right. You know what? Let me just.
I'll talk to her tonight. So for Meelz, I am Justin. We will see you guys, or I'll see you guys next week on the A Show. Peace.